we're going to have fun. We are women, and we're going to own it to ourselves. And it doesn't matter what kind of mistake that you get, because I know that you got my back, right? Well, I guess we'll start our program. My name is Nyamalde, and I will be your opener today. A little bit of background on me. I am a former refugee. I came to the United States when I was age 11. I tackled millions and millions of miles running from different countries just so that way I wouldn't be bombed, just so that way my family wouldn't be killed, just so that way I wouldn't be killed myself. I came to the United States in 1995. I first landed in San Diego, California. At the same time, probably you might not know too, I didn't have my family with me. I didn't have my mom. I didn't have my brother. I only had my aunt with me, who found me in the middle of the street while we were running during the war. So it's not as simple as you guys may think my journey. Then we travel again from Sudan to Ethiopia, walking barefooted. Maybe you might be eaten by a crocodile. You don't know. By a wild animal. You don't know. I remember at a young age, probably I was like 10 years old or so, we had to cross Ethiopia because the Ethiopian government wouldn't let us cross over because we are not their people, or we're not citizens of Ethiopia. We practically had to flee at night, cross over the river, with hyena in there, with lion, with crocodile, so that way that individual would actually smuggle us into Kenya, and then we got another, like a tow truck or something, you can say. That individual, they put us into that tow truck, and then they cover the top of it. And then they drove us into the refugee camp. We had to pay them too, because they just don't smuggle you like that into the neighboring country, because you have to be able to pay them. It was not an easy journey. As we going across Ethiopia, or across into Kenya, we almost got killed too as well. Not knowing that we're going to be alive, not knowing that where we're going to be heading next, we don't know. So luckily, we got into Kenya. There is a refugee camp called Ifo, I would say. The Ifo camp refugees or resettlements finded us, and they give us a form with my aunt, my cousin, who turned out to be my brother, but he's not, because that's what mostly Africans say. So, that being said, so we came, sorry. So when you think about that, we end up with a form, actually, to be quite honest. We end up with a form, but the form didn't work very well. But there was one American aid woman who I remember until this day. She scribbled that form up and tore it into pieces and write another form. She literally did. She just said, who needs this one anyway? You know, she's like, I'm American, so I don't care what I'm gonna do. I don't care what they're gonna do to me, but you are going. that day, that lady changed my life. She changed my life for the better. Many of refugees to be It's not so many of the refugees get so lucky. Because most of the refugees, they stay in refugees camp for more than 2 years, 5 years, 10 years, even 20 years all their lives. For me, I only get to spend it for 8 months. 8 months. I didn't struggle much. Besides crossing over all those rivers, I didn't have it bad as most people do. But you know what? Today is our day. It's not about me. It's about all of us. And that's what we're here for. And we need to own up to it and say this is the International Women's Day and we need to celebrate ourselves. We need to be able to empower each other. We need to put in some platform and say, you know what, enough is enough, and we need to get out there and be able to mobilize ourselves and do better for our community and our world. We need to be able to come together as one. We need to be able to enable each other. We don't need to do stereotyping. We need to be one. You know?
Well, that was a second. That was a confirmation. That was a confirmation.
Okay, just don't do it one more time. That being said, you know, I'm a believer. I'm a believer of Jesus Christ. And I'm not trying to put on anybody. But I believe that there is a purpose of me being here. Amen.
Mm-hmm.
I believe that. Even though I can tell you this today, I had 4 brothers that has been killed. But I'm the only one that left. I knew that there is a purpose for me being here today. I knew that there is a purpose for me walking out there. I knew that it's not only me having a purpose, all of us have a purpose. And that's what we need to own up to. We need to own up to ourselves. It doesn't matter your skin color, it doesn't matter who you are, it doesn't matter whatever you are, transgender, whatever you are, it doesn't matter what religion you are, it does not matter. What matters is we are together, and we have to be able to empower each other, and that's what we need as people.
Mm-hmm.
Sure.
So, as an International Women's Day, I'm going to go on to it. And I'm not going to say much because I know that most of my colleagues will be able to cover that. I know that I'm the one that will put this event together. But it doesn't mean that I have this group of powerful women who will be able to educate you on certain things that I am not aware of, even though I know I am. But I know that they are kick-asses.
Woo!
So you know what? I'm going to turn the mic up to them, and we're going to enjoy our night, and we're going to have fun. And that's exactly what I came here to do. And we're going to invite Andy to help start the program for us.
You know, the scariest part of speaking at this actually is knowing I was calling your mom, because she's so inspiring and just such a powerful person. And I actually met her not terribly long ago, and I met her through somebody I know from high school. Anna had sent a message to her, or told her to meet me because my background's architecture, and she was working on South Sudan Reads in a school back there, and we got connected for that reason. And when we first met, we just gelled on so many issues of empowerment and everything else. So it's been so exciting to get to know you, and you inspire me every time we talk, Jamal. And I speak for everybody in this room saying thank you. Thanks for pulling us all together, and thanks for starting all of this up. And so my name is Amy L. Nash, and I'm an architect, an interior designer. I think that I can empower people. I do some teaching. I'm a sociologist, ecologist, all from taking lots of different things in grad school. And I'm many people all in one. And the one thread that goes through all of that is that I'm creative and I have an entrepreneurial mind. And so I was asked to speak on Equal for Creative Entrepreneurism, and I don't know how to sum that up very well. So I'm going to actually get you a little bit involved in that. And we'll just start off because I consider myself a creative problem solver. So by raise of hands, who here is a problem solver? And I should see every hand up, because from the time we get up to the time we go to bed, we're constantly solving problems. If you're a parent, you know that you're doing that probably even before you get up. You're thinking through all the things that you have to do. If you're a leader in a business or something in the community, you're constantly wanting to solve problems. And then there are many people in this room, as I look around, that I know are solving big issues in the community and in the world, and you're solving even bigger things all the time. I get asked to speak about my story and what's your story leading to what you do now. And I struggle with that a lot, because what story should I tell? Should I tell the story where I survived being attacked? Should I tell the story of how I was going to architecture school and I had a male teacher tell me, I don't like women in architecture and you won't make it past my class? That was in the 90s in Fargo. Should I tell the story of how I had a female boss tell me that I was too enthusiastic in the architecture world and I should know my place in a man's field? That happens. Or should I tell you how I just kind of kicked all that stuff to the curb and just had to figure out how to be me and how to be my best and be well and take encouragement from people and listen when they tell you different things that you're good at? I don't know how to sum all that up. So instead, I'm going to take the day that we have today and have you guys all do some clapping and sharing, and we're going to celebrate the things that create our stories. So I want all of you to do that. So I'm going to list off 8 things, and I want you to clap loudly for these things and start picturing in your head either people or experiences or things that resonate with you as I list these off. And I happen to know somebody in the room that whistles, so I might get him to whistle a little bit to get a few of these things going. But I really would like this room to be very loud. So first thing, we should celebrate the people in our lives that encourage us. Don't have that ability, and we should be grateful for that and thankful for that. Number 7, and I'm almost done making you guys clap. college level and stuff too, and I don't like to stand behind a podium, so I'm gonna roam around just a little bit, but, so every one of you were picturing people as we were doing that. Probably the brightest was the haters one, right? You know exactly who you want, just know that you're better than that. And then who has encouraged you and who has been a champion for you, or champion for issues that you have. We all picture people, right? We all picture those situations and those things that make us bounce back. So we're being creative in the moment. So that's the thing. I just made all of you creative. And I've influenced you all because I got you all to clap too. So this is what I do. I do a lot of creative empowerments, and I do that one-on-one or with businesses, teams, and things like that. And if we were to do that same exercise and get you thinking about things, if you had a problem in your business, in your life, or a challenge or something you're presenting, we could go through those same kinds of exercises, and you can get to something that feels good and you can celebrate, and you're also solving your problem. So that's kind of what I do, and I can't shut that off. So what I'd like to have happen is just a couple tables, a couple people shout out loudly ways that you're creative. Scrapbook, okay? Somebody else. Meditate, yeah, you tap into your creativity. Back. Sports. Awesome. Who else? I know it's creativity. Cooking. Mentoring.
Advocating.
Communicating. Music. I'm pointing her out because we know each other and I know she's a musician. Art. I know that we have a speaker that channels into empowering people in wellness. She's following me after this. So we all have lots of different ways. As I look around, I know some of you and I know where you use some of your creativity. So that's what I do. I am an entrepreneur. I'm a big believer in transferable skills. Many of us didn't start off in the industries that we're in now. We have that story, we have that path that comes from different things. I came from architecture and interior design. I still design buildings, I still appreciate spaces and things like that. I still do that kind of work, but now I channel all those skills and project management skills and problem solving skills into helping people have their dreams come to reality. So going from idea to implementation. So I can take somebody in a chaotic, I have all these different ideas going on, and somehow get that into a process and get that into something in a very short amount of time where you see some results. Because we can dream all sorts of kinds of things, but if we are not taking that to something that's actionable, then it just becomes that thing that sits out there. So I want to help more and more people have their dreams, ideas, businesses, all of that stuff come to fruition. I found myself in the business and nonprofit development world, and I really enjoy that. So I'm going to take you through a really short little exercise of picturing that, and then we will hand it over to our next speaker. So how many of you, by raise of hands, you love cool buildings and cool spaces and things like that, and you love when you travel, you kind of get into that sort of thing? Well, it all has to start by digging a hole. So, seems obvious, doesn't it? It all starts by digging a hole. You need to build things on a good, solid foundation. So I challenge people usually when I'm working with them to start thinking about what are those things that when you dig a hole, what are you building everything on? As architects, we build on bedrock and things that are harder. We have to come up with that good foundation. You have to have a foundation of where you're going with things, whether it's a business, nonprofit, an idea, whatever. So you start by digging a hole and figuring it out. Sometimes that starts with a problem, sometimes it's seeing a problem in the world, sometimes it comes from your own story, but there's always something where you have to build something up, right? You start on that. Then we get into ground level, and whoever had said meditation, that is an awesome way to think about it. We ground ourselves, right? So now we know we're built on something and we're moving from there. The next thing is you're watching a building pop up, you start seeing the framing coming up. So the studs, the steel, all that, and you get this shape. And the wind blows right through it, doesn't it? So you're building that enclosure after the fact. You gotta have something to hold everything up. And it's gotta be able to take some weight from snow. We all know what happens if we don't do that well. And it has to be able to take some side winds. If you've ever come from places where there's big storms, you know that as well. Then we enclose that. So you take all of your ideas and you get your core values going and your mission and your vision and all those things that create that structure, and then you enclose it, and then you can decorate it. then we can pretty it up. So I walk people through that process all the time. So we're basically going to start with where you come from, where you want to be, and go from there. And that's creative entrepreneurism. I've done that myself with a couple of businesses and also something I'm building as well, and my own business. So that leads me to Linus Creative, which is what I have. So that's how I do my thing. My thing is to help people in that creative process. And I wanted to close with kind of the name, because I think the name is kind of fitting for the day. And the start of it is fitting for the day. Last year, on International Women's Day, I started posting women empowering posts. Just decided that this month, March of 2019, was going to be the month that every day I posted positive, women, badass kinds of things. I'm so glad that Jamal used the word ass, so I can say badass every time I interview somebody, you're going to get that. Okay, so you all are. So thank you for that. But I wanted to post those kinds of things, and every day I did that, and I got a lot of messages and encouragement in that. And then I started somewhere in the middle of the month posting things that had pictures of lions and lionesses specifically. And I got a lot more response from that. People were messaging me, you should keep that coming. And I'm a Leo, so that's cool. And all of those kinds of things that were sort of fun. And I started looking into it. So my background in community planning and ecology and stuff, I knew a lot about wolf culture and the alpha complex and entrepreneurism and all that, but I had never really looked into the ecology of lions. But I was fascinated by the animal and by the videos you see and stuff, and I started looking into it a lot more. And this year, going into 2020, I knew I wanted to start a business in what I do. And I had great encouragement, and my life partner had pointed out to me that you're at your best when you're super creative and you're in that moment and you're just doing that and you're seeing things and you're making stuff happen. So I had to stop putting off what everybody's telling me to do and just do that. So I started this business and I had to pick a name, and it hit me. It needed to be called Lioness Creative. It picked me. I started with these little memes that were fun last year, and it became this. Well, here's the story of lionesses in a pride. All the glory seems to go picturesque-wise to the head lion, but the real work comes from the women. The lionesses do all of it. They're the operators. They run the pride. They take care of every part of it. And the most fascinating and the most beautiful part of it, and why I want to close with that, is that they have the most amazing teamwork. They do the hunting, and they do it as a team. They're strategic and thoughtful, and they figure out how to make it happen to get what they need to take care of the rest of the pride. They just do that. They don't disempower each other. And if we think about how sometimes we're our own worst enemy amongst each other, they don't do that. So they empower each other. So it's very fitting when I looked into it, like the universe was telling me what I needed to do, and so I listened, and there we go. So I'm a creative entrepreneur. My name is Amy Nash, and I get the joy of introducing everyone else. And I'm out with mine. Just amazing. The next speaker is Jody Plessy. I met Jody through a fellow entrepreneur that I had met very quickly, and I didn't really know him very well, and he said, I have this person that you need to meet. And so I learned to kind of trust the universe a little bit, and so we ended up connecting over coffee. And that first meeting, which usually you kind of plan for an hour for a coffee meeting, was 2 hours, and it blinked by like it was 5 minutes. Like, she's super inspiring. We have a lot of different traits that we share, although very different angles to things. She believes in empowering others, entrepreneurism, big wellness changes, having a powerful lifestyle, and she has a passion for helping people that really drives her. You'll see and you'll hear and you'll understand that in about a nanosecond listening to her talk. So Jody Plessy is the Executive Director of Peaceful's Rising Academy. She'll share her journey and her story on the piece of the each for equal, and equal in wellness and health. With that, join us.
All right. Well, I'm going to make everybody stand up for a second. So let's just put our hands above our heads, and we're going to take 3 deep breaths, and we're going to do it we're going to hold it about 6 seconds each breath. Okay, ready? So you're going to breathe in 6, breathe out 6. Ready? Go. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. And out. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, baby. The other thing actually that I want you guys to do is put your arms up again. I want you to squeeze everything you can in your body. This is going to relieve a ton of tension. Squeeze your toes, your eyes, your hands, your fingers, everything. Just squeeze and hold. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Let it go. All right, you guys can sit down. Just had to do that little bit of blood movement in the body. So I'm going to walk around because I do that aimlessly and I like to talk a lot, so hopefully Amy keeps me in check. My name is Joni Plessity, and I'm the Executive Director of People's Rising Academy. It's a new nonprofit in the Fargo area, and I'll get into that a little more at the end here, but I've also been an entrepreneur for about 20 years of my life in the profit side. And because of my life change and my story that started about 5-6 years ago, it led me down the path of nonprofithood, you could say. So with that, I don't have a degree in probably anything that I'm going to talk about right now or certification, but I am Jody and I've lived it. So if that means anything here today, I am the survivor of my own life, you could say. So with that, you know, I used to be fat. I was over 300 pounds, pretty much 2 of me next to each other about 6 years ago. And I was diabetic, thyroid problems, just really not in a good place in my life. And unfortunately, I have to tell you guys this so we can get to the inspirational, fun part of it. So we're gonna go down this road for a minute. But I lived a lot of my life very unhealthy, unhealthy marriage for nearly 20 years. I smoked, I drank, I did drugs, I was diabetic, thyroid problems. Just always felt like I wasn't living my life like what I was supposed to be doing. But when you're thinking about it, you're like, well, what am I supposed to be doing? I'm married, I'm an entrepreneur, I'm successful, I have businesses, I have a great family, all of those things, and it just wasn't enough. I knew there was something else and a bigger meaning to my life. Well, I always wanted children, and unfortunately, that didn't end so well for me. I've lost multiple children, actually 4, to be honest. And they were pretty far along, the last 2. I had my son Ernie. I went into labor at about 20 weeks and lost him. He lived for about an hour and 15 minutes on his own. And then I got pregnant again, and within about a year, and got really into my 24th week, and he had the severest form of spina bifida there is with myelomeningocele, and 8 segments were open in his back, and they didn't close. So basically fluid was spilling in and out inside of me in the womb. So I had to really make an awful decision. And I was at Mayo, and they didn't want me to leave because they were afraid if I went into labor, that the child wouldn't have been able to work itself out because he had no function, basically, from neck down. So they wanted me to end the pregnancy. So I went home for about a week, actually, and I came back down there. And I knew that's really when I put my trust in a higher power, that whatever was going to happen from that circumstance was where my life was going to go. So, and he didn't survive. They induced me, and he didn't survive. But you know what? The crazy part of it is how, like, sad that story is, you guys. It changed my life. Like, all of a sudden, I was at the lowest point of my life after losing him, and I was literally on my knees, and I mean, I didn't want to live anymore. It was that bad. Someone came into my life, and this is where, whatever you are spiritually, I don't care what it is, believe in something bigger than yourself. There is definitely higher powers out there. Let's just say that. And I have experienced many of them, and I actually wrote a book that I have not published because I'm not ready yet. But hopefully in the future, that will kind of describe more of my journey. But anyways, I want to get into the health side. So that changed my life. I met somebody within and this was just a really good friend of mine, literally swept me off my feet. Like, I wanted to be healthy. I was working out like 2 hours a day. I was injuring myself. I was losing all this weight because I wasn't doing it smart. And all of a sudden, I just started eating better. He started teaching me all of these different things. And he's like, stop playing the victim. It's not, because I felt like a victim. All of a sudden, why did I let somebody kind of control my life the way that I did for all of those years? I was like, no. It took one little, feather of somebody to care about me and love me unconditionally, as a friend. And I was, gone. I was so ready, you guys, to change my life that I look back now and I pinch myself because I was like, what just happened? All my friends that I had, everybody, because it was just not the right crew. It wasn't my tribe. It was not who I was supposed to be around, including some family. And sometimes you just have to pluck those weeds out of your life, and it's okay. Sometimes the biggest influential people in your life are not your family. Sometimes the friend that is really a soulmate friend to you means more to me, actually. Right now, I can tell you that, than any family member I have, blood-wise. So, I want to get back into get off that subject now, I'll talk for an hour. But, so getting back to, so now here I am, health, I had all of these things happen. Living a healthy life, haven't drank in 8 years, just living healthy, controlling my diabetes, Hashimoto's thyroidism I had, all through diet, you guys. I don't take any medications, none. And I'm not saying that medications are bad, but I'm saying that there's a time and a place for them. And we need to stop playing the victim card when it comes to our health. And we need to take control of our lives and live a healthy, autonomous life. And, the hard part is that we go to the doctor and we're looking for some magic pill. I'm depressed, I'm sad, I have diabetes, I could lose 20 pounds. Well, you have to get to the root of the problem. What is actually causing those issues? Why are you diabetic? Why is your thyroid acting up? It's not about just taking a medication, you guys. You have to really change your lifestyle. Take and own it. And that's exactly what I did. I know the things I can't eat. I know how sugar affects me. And I don't want to be on this roller coaster every day. So just remember that. Know your ingredients when you're using products. Now, a lot of times people are like, more supplements, more this, more that. Sometimes it needs to be less. Less, less, less. Less stress in your life. Simplify what you're eating. Get back to just the basics as far as like, go on the outside of the grocery store once. And don't go in any of the center aisles. Start there. You know what I mean? Think about it. Stop buying the processed, bag, boxed stuff in the center of the grocery store. Connections. This one here has been huge for me the last about 6 months when I joined the North Dakota Women's Leadership Group. You guys know what that is? I met Christy Dower, and that woman is we call her a serial nonprofit worker, because she is involved all over the community. And the cool thing is, she has her whole family involved and her kids, and they love to go around and they donate and they have events and all of these things. And I tell you guys, I got accepted into that last June. It was just when we were getting our nonprofit going. That has connected me to a group of people that I didn't even know existed in this community. And I've been here 20-some years. And I was like, where did all these people come from? Like, this is my tribe, this is my group, you know? But, so life is about connections. If you're hanging around people that it just doesn't flow with you, find other people. Shake off the rug, move along, you know? Friendship is about, it's about the quality. It's not about how many friends you have. It's about the ones that truly bring out the best in you and are just like, they support you in a way. My one friend will be like a good way where, you know, you're fat. Like when I was fat, he like called me out on it. You're fat. Well, okay, thanks. But it was like he continued to help me and love me regardless of that. And to push me to be my best self. So be mindful for your connections, you know. Go to leadership classes, get involved, you know, Emerging Prairie is good. Volunteer doing something you love. Go find those things that you love to do, honestly. So, optimal health. Why do we need optimal health? For me, optimal health means that if I don't take care of myself and live the best that Jody can live, from sleeping, resting when I need to, being alone when I need to, eating right, working out, doing the things that I love, or just breathing. You know, let's just breathe. And we don't have to be go, go, go. There's so much noise going around us all day long. All these negative people, all the negative news, everything that's just circulating. Just shut it down. You know, shut it down. It's okay to say no to somebody if you're just feeling overwhelmed. So, optimal health is being the best version of me, and if I don't have optimal health, I can't chase my legacy, follow my passions, have gratitude, be happy, have fun in life, love other people, you guys. I can't do any of those things if I don't maintain my optimal well-being. So think about that. When you take your totem pole on the top, what's the most important thing in your life? Think about that. What's number one? It might be spirituality, you might say it's your family, you might say it's you might say it's your dog, I don't know, your career, whatever it might be. Figure it out. Get your totem pole. What's number one? For me, I lived a crappy, unhealthy lifestyle, you guys, for 25 years of my life, and I will never go back to that, ever. That is my number one. So, think about that. So, I could go on a little bit more about, you know, metabolic disease, you guys, is strangling our healthcare system right now. I mean, it's so bad. And it makes me so sad because now that I'm like out of the darkness, up into the light, like able to, I can spot people and sense their sadness. And it just kills me sometimes because I was that person. And it's hard because sometimes when you're in that situation and you're really suffering and depressed, it's not easy to ask for help from somebody. It really isn't. And sometimes someone needs to reach out to you. And we just can't forget about these people because honestly, it could save your life. Because I wouldn't be here today if I wouldn't have met one person, one friend that came into my life when I needed it the most. I mean, so much that I've sold my other business and I'm putting like all my efforts into this nonprofit and I have no idea what I'm doing, you guys, when it comes to that. Honestly, I don't. I'm like, well, how do you get money? What do you sell? What do you do? You know, and we're selling life. We're selling your health. And it's like, I just want people to understand that if you come to us or come to People's Rising Academy, we're going to give you an unbiased assessment. I'm a director of care, which by the way, I'm not the one that assesses you. I don't have the degree, so let's just get that straight. But he's a chiropractic kinesiologist, functional medicine doctor, and just, he's so compassionate and gifted with helping people, you guys. He wants to get you in his office and never see you again because he wants to get you better. He wants to teach you about what's going on in your body, what's going on in your life, get to the root of your problems, and baby steps, one by one. He's going to feed you the information. We're going to show you how to live better. We're going to be there for you. We're going to be a positive support and role model to you guys. So I can't, when people ask, well, who do you help? What specific type of person? It can be anybody. Because what are you struggling with? Think about it. This isn't a workout facility. This isn't a chiropractic office. It's all of it. It's mental, spiritual, physical, and we're gonna work you guys through it. It's gonna be like a boot camp program. We're calling it Building Athletes at Life. Because when I started coming out of my hole of depression, I started feeling better, you guys. I was in chronic pain every day of my life. And I just thought, I need to just live with this. This is part of life. That's what people think. I'm getting old. My back's always gonna hurt. My knee hurts. No, a lot of times that chronic pain stems from something that you have been carrying and buried inside of you for years and years and years. And it just ends up like this cancer growing in you, and you end up struggling in chronic pain, and you're depressed. And it's just, you guys, it just snowballs. And so Dr. Miles is going to get to the root what is going on, and that's where his giftedness comes in. He has helped so many people that have seen him. My whole family goes sees him now. Any friends, people I know that you have to want the help. That's the thing. If you want help, we can help you. You have to have at least 1% where you want to get better. So think about that for a second. But I'm going to leave you guys with, so anyways, that's what I'm doing right now. People's Rising Academy is building athletes at life, and we need the community's support. This is a nonprofit. It takes money to help people and rise them up. So you might know somebody struggling. It might be you. Send them to us. Go to our website, peoplesrising.org. If you can follow us on social media, we're going to start having some events and things like that. But we need help. We're building an empire. This is a hard battle. And I have sat down with multiple philanthropists, and they're just like, you have got your work cut out for you. And you know what? I'm just like, well, if it was hard, if it was easy, everybody would do it, right? So I'm one of those crazy little quirky people that thinks they can change the world. So here I am.
Thank you so much, Jody. You are so inspiring, and I thought that from the moment I met you, and every time I hear you talk, I believe that through and through.
Thank you.
We have a very fast pace. This is one thing I didn't say when I started introducing people, is we have a very fast pace when we're so it's really a blessing today to be able to meet face to face. Her passions are in big, difficult areas of social change. They're very impressive and inspiring areas that are also the hard things to talk about. So social justice, human rights, mental health, and overcoming mental health issues, homelessness, overcoming homelessness. And she just champions these issues, and they're big and they're hard. And let's think about that for a second. When you champion something, it just means the action is so deep and such rooted in hard work. She's also championed big change in the juvenile justice system and juvenile justice reform. And with that, I introduce Tracy Wilkie with People in Importance.
Bonjour, my name is Wabishki Druiden Ekwe, White North Wind woman, and I'm a enrolled member of the Turtle Mountain Band of Chippewa here in North Dakota, and I'm very thankful that my friend Naamal invited me to speak here today. One of the endorsed candidates for District 16 for the North Dakota House of Representatives. Two other sisters, Hamida Dakani, she is from Kenya, and also for the Senate will be Carrie Brecker. She's a local gal of European descent, born and raised here in Fargo. So we have a powerhouse full of international women bringing change and a voice to all of North Dakota. Part of International Women's Day for me is being, I guess, it's not easy to talk about, but the missing murdered Indigenous women. It's important for all women to look out for one another and be aware of our surroundings and report anything that doesn't look right. Human trafficking is out of control. I have worked in the criminal justice system in the juvenile department in Portland, Oregon for 20 years. I'm a supporter of workers' rights and the right to negotiate pay and report sexual harassment and empower other people from all walks of life. My journey wasn't always easy, being a woman and working in the criminal justice system and being a little girl from the reservation. But I'm no quitter. I stopped working my job of 20 years. I didn't quit. I said there was something else out there for me. I couldn't put my finger on it, that I had something specific that I wanted to do, but I trusted the universe that I would be where I was supposed to be. And in December of 2018, my mother got sick, and that's what brought me back to Fargo, North Dakota, where I was born. I was born into homelessness at the Florence Crittenden home, and just up until recently, I was at the YWCA, and it's been an amazing journey since I've come back. I've learned how to install solar panels and see that we need more resources in recycling. Having lived in Portland, Oregon, I had a lot of positive things happen in learning and advocating for our environment. And I'm also happy to be part of the Red River Climate Action, and we hey. There are so many amazing I was part of New Women's Leadership Development Institute that put me in contact with women wherever I go, whether it's North Dakota, Minnesota. I meet up with women all over who are working and organizing to make the world a better place and educating one another with our differences in cultural diversity. I'm thankful to have met women from all over the world here in Fargo. North Dakota is growing, and I'm thankful that women are having our voices heard, and encourage everybody to take time to listen to one another. We are different, but we're more alike than we are different.
Yeah.
And sometimes, you know, it's better to listen and to understand one another. And in closing, I would like to sing a song for you. It's called the Woman's Warrior Song, and I'm getting emotional.
Don't be crazy, you can do it.
It's good to be home. I felt a calling here. Yesterday I spoke about the census and the importance of the Native American census. And I joked, I forgot the cherry on top that my great-great-great-grandfather, Chief Jean-Baptiste Wilkie, who went to meet President Lincoln, has our family on the very first Red River census. So I forgot to mention that yesterday, so now you know. I feel like this is my home, this is where I'm supposed to be. And if you'd like to contribute to my campaign, it's Wilkie for District 16. Thank you, and you can find me on @Blue, and you can find my sisters Carrie Brecker and Hamida Dakani also. Thank you.
I think we have just a little extra time for maybe a little stretch, and I'll let Jamal maybe make a couple of announcements. I have a feeling she probably has some. Oh, I'm sorry. She's
Okay, sorry. So I want you all to take a break, you know, for like 10 minutes or so. Get yourself together. We have food out there, and get yourself a plate, because we have 2 more speakers coming up, and you don't want to miss that. And so I know that maybe some of you guys asked me earlier, how can you be able to help me? That's a good question. You can definitely help me serving food. We're gonna have fun. Let's go have fun. We're gonna eat, and then let's do that. Thank you.